I would say the most important thing to have is a plan. And by that I mean, I'm going to use me as an example. Currently I'm working on a project that is very inspired by 07, Radiohead, Pink Floyd, Coldplay even. There's elements of Kate Bush and Nick Drake. And the songs are largely down-tempo and elements of trip-hop as well. But it's a project, and I've got a clear vision of what I want to write and how it should sound. You'll hear that on the background music to these videos, and as we go on creating more videos, there'll be more music. So yeah, when we talked about ideas, I'm literally working off ideas that I've recorded on my mobile phone. I've got them all on my computer, all folded, file structure, organised. I like everything organised. I'm just a bit OCD, I guess. Anyway, and so I'm working through each of those ideas and then developing them as we go. And it's really been quite successful at the moment, and hopefully it will continue that way. So if I go back to a time in 1990 when I first started writing songs, and then presenting them to a band, the band would then say, yeah, we like that, we'll run with it, and you know, hey presto, the band's got another song. There was no plan though. It was kind of sit down, oh, I've got this chord progression, that's quite nice, I'll play it to the band, see what they say. Hopefully they'll be able to develop the idea as well. But there was no formula. There was a formula, but there was no vision. So I would say, and probably if you're starting out as well, you're probably just finding that you're writing chord progressions and they're quite random. Some will sound a bit rocky, others will sound folky, and there's no real direction in your playing. It's just randomly falling out of you, which is a good thing. It's a good thing, just because, I mean, I've written a couple of songs lately that have nothing to do with a project that I want to work towards at the moment. So what I did was I recorded the songs. They're quite jazzy actually, and I'll shelve them and I'll come back to them. I'll revisit them another time. So I'm not saying don't write. If you get a good idea, it's a good idea. Write it down, play it, record it, put it to one side, revisit it when you're ready. But for me, I think it's important to have a direction, and I think it's very important for a band to have a direction as well, more so probably. So yeah, have a clear understanding of what you want to do, what you want to achieve, what sort of body of work inspires you. Pick an album, your favourite album. In my case it would be Dark Side of the Moon, has been for the last 30 odd years, continues to be. But I know that I'll never be able to produce a body of work like Dark Side of the Moon. I don't think anyone will. I certainly don't think you can better it. So use it as a yardstick, use it as something you want to aspire to be, but don't expect to be that album, if that makes sense. Because you're only going to be putting so much pressure on yourself, and you'll never end up writing anything, because nothing will come close to it. Will come close to your expectations, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, have a clear vision. Try and sort of focus on what it's going to save you so much time as well. And the other thing is, people like to pigeonhole you. You know, when I go out trying to get gigs, the first thing people will ask is, what sort of music do you play? And if I turn around and say, well, I play a bit of everything, that gives them no idea of what, that doesn't help. It gives them no idea of what I play. So they want me to name artists, so I'll just roll out a few artists that I know they'll know, and they'll say, yeah, fine, okay, that's brilliant, great. And it's the same with artists and bands that want to write music. I mean, if you buy a Radiohead album today, you've got a fair idea of what to expect. If you buy a Kylie Minogue album today, you still have a very good idea of what to expect, and I mean that in the best possible way. So it is important also to have some kind of direction, genre that you want to work in. So another grain of wisdom to bestow upon you would be to take your time, don't rush. If you've got an idea, record it. If it's inconvenient to pick up the guitar or you have to go and do something else, then do that. Just make sure you got the idea at hand whenever you need it to revisit it. Don't be forced into thinking, well, no, I've got to finish this now, I've got to get the verse and I've got to get the... Because all you'll end up doing is getting really frustrated, and that doesn't do anyone any good, and certainly doesn't do the music any good. So take your time with it, relax. It's not a race. The only time in music I would actually dedicate to planning and giving myself a timeline would be mixing and mastering. I would say, right, now this song's complete, I want to mix it, I want to master it, and I'm going to give myself, I usually like to give myself a month. Just a month, just to sit there, revisit it, do I like it, and that. But that's a topic for another day, but it's a whole different video. But it's the opposite. Songwriting is very much just let it happen naturally, and you'll find the results will be a lot better. Build the song in parts, do it at your leisure. You've got the idea, maybe put 2 hours aside to see if you can embellish the idea into a verse or a chorus or whatever. Grow the idea, but don't rush yourself. It's not a race. But do build it in parts. If you're incredibly talented, I mean, maybe you're someone like Bob Dylan that can just sit down and just bang. It's just written 10 songs in 10 minutes, and you think, how the hell did he do that? You know, but there are the rare birds that can do that. They're few and far between. I've certainly never experienced anyone that could do that, but we're all different, I guess. So you know, if you can do it that way and that you find that's the best way for you to work, and you write lyrics as good as Bob Dylan, I'm no one to question you. So I also think you shouldn't shy away from sounding like your favourite artists. So if you did write something that was, say, let's just say, you know, your favourite band's Van Halen, and you write a guitar solo and it's kind of, I wouldn't say near the mark, but it's very Eddie Van Halen-esque, I would say you should use that to your advantage and run with it. You know, people will say, I mean, people will always draw comparisons to who you sound like. I mean, a friend of mine heard one of my songs the other day and he said, it's very John Lennon, isn't it? And I never thought about it. And actually one of the songs I'm doing at the moment sounds very much like Sade. And you know, that's a comparison I never thought. But when I listened back to it, I thought, God, he's right. He's really right. It is. I could see Sade singing that. And so don't be frightened because people will always make comparisons with your music to other people's music. It's what we do. Don't shy away from it. Use it to your advantage. I'm not suggesting you should sit down and rip off other people's guitar solos. That probably doesn't go down very well amongst musicians, and certainly not in the music business. So yeah, plagiarism is not good in any field, but certainly don't shy away from sounding like your heroes. I would encourage it, if anything. Well, thanks very much for watching. I do appreciate your time. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have enjoyed the video, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification icon below, and you'll be notified of videos like this as and when they appear. Until next time, take care of yourselves and see you soon.